Today we're going to talk about the last topic of this chapter, which is about the series and parallel combination of inductors. The easy part of this topic is that we will see that inductors, their series and parallel combinations behave exactly like resistors. So here as we have seen, these inductors are connected in series. The equivalent inductance value is determined just like we do it for the resistor cases. So in this case, we will see that all the inductors that are connected in series, to find out the equivalent value, you just add all the inductor values just like you do it in the case of resistor. So it is very easy to find out the equivalent inductance because it is exactly the same the way you do it for resistors. So in this case, let's see how we can find out the equivalent inductance when they are connected in series. So in this case, we can see that you have all these inductors connected in series, and here we can see the current flowing through these inductors is I of t, and the voltage across each inductor is V of t. Is each voltage applying KVL, V of t will be equal to sum of all these voltages, and we know that voltage across inductor is nothing else but L di by dt. And we can see, since current is common between all these inductors, so this factor is common for all the inductors. So in this case, we can replace this function in all these voltages. We will end up with this expression, and here we can see di by dt is same for all the elements, so we can take it as a common. So this summation of inductors will give you the total inductance in this case, and we can see it is nothing else but sum of all the inductances, which is same as the way you do it for resistors that are connected in series. So the equivalent inductance in this case will be the sum of all the inductances that are connected in series. So let's look at an example. So for example, here if you need to find the equivalent inductance and you see all the inductors are connected in series, what you need to do is simply add all these values together. So the total inductance now will be 7 Henry. So what about if the inductors are connected in parallel? Again, they will work exactly the way resistors. The resistors are connected in parallel, and you find out the equivalent resistance. Here we can see all these inductors are connected in parallel. So the voltage across all of them is same, which is V of t, and the total current that is flowing through them, I of t, will be equal to sum of all the individual currents. So we can write the total current as sum of all the individual currents. And since we know that current through inductor is defined by this expression, and here we can see, since voltage is common, so this integral will be same for all the cases. So in this case, we replace this expression in this expression. We'll end up with this expression. Here we can see this voltage is common, and all these inductances are added together using this expression, and all the initial currents are added as well, just like we did it for the case of capacitors. So in this case, the total inductance, that is 1 over LP, is sum of all these inductances which are connected in parallel, just the way we see it for the case of resistors. So, and the total initial current in this case will be sum of all the initial currents that we can see over here in this case. So this will give me the total inductance LP that we can replace. Instead of having all these inductors in parallel, we can just replace it with this equivalent value. So using this integral form of the inductance law, we can find out the equivalent inductance. So for example, in this case, we have these three inductances connected in parallel, and we have the initial currents that are defined like this, which are flowing through each inductor. So if I want to find the equivalent inductance, so what we can do is we can solve the circuit in two steps. So first we consider these two inductances. So we multiply both and then we divide by sum of both. So it would be 6 2s are 12, and it would be 72 divided by 12 plus 6 is 18. So it is 4. So 18 times 4 is 72. And then this 4 millihenry and this 4 millihenry is in parallel. So 4 4s are 16 divided by 8. It is 2 millihenry. So the total equivalent inductance that we see over here is 2 millihenry. So which we can see by solving it in steps. So in the first step, we solve this, we see 4 millihenry, and then we solve these two together. Its answer is 2 millihenry. And what about the initial current if you want to find I of t? So if just apply KCL over here, current entering this node is I of t, and current leaving the node is 3 minus 6 and 2. So if you add these together, the answer comes out to be minus 1. So this is the initial current that is in this case. So inductors combine like resistors and capacitors combine like conductances. So this is what we conclude from this discussion. Okay, let's look at this example. Here we have this circuit. We need to find the equivalent inductance, and you have all these inductors connected in series or parallel fashion. And let's say all the inductors are 4 millihenry. So here we can see we can solve this circuit by looking at the connection between these inductors. So here we can see these two inductors, they are connected in parallel. Likewise, this inductor and this inductor is also in parallel because this is one common node. So let's solve it step by step. So in this case, these two are connected in parallel, and we know inductors connected in parallel, you add them just the way you add parallel resistors. So you multiply inductors in the numerator and you add the inductors in the denominator. So it would be 4 times 4 is 16. 16 divided by 8 is 2, so it will be 2 millihenry. Likewise, these two inductors are also parallel. The same answer will be 2 millihenry. So whenever you are simplifying a circuit, it's always better to redraw the circuit. So when you want to redraw the circuit, it's always better to identify all nodes. Let's say these are all the nodes that we have. So here we can see this is node A, this is node D, all of it is node C, and this whole is node B. So all components that are connected between these nodes, you just redraw them. So you have all these nodes together and you place all the components between these nodes, you'll end up with this figure. You can try it yourself. So here we can see these two inductors are connected in series, so you simply add them. It is 6 millihenry, and then we can see this 6 millihenry and this 4 millihenry will be in parallel. So you use the parallel formula and then you add it with 2 millihenry. So in this case, this will be 6 millihenry, and 6 and 4 are in parallel, and then you add 2 as you do it for series. So your answer comes out to be 4.4 millihenry. Likewise, we have another example where we have all these inductors whose inductances are 6 millihenry, and we need to find the equivalent inductance. So here we can see, if we look closely, this is one node and this is one node. So this and this inductor, these are in parallel, and we can see this is also parallel because this is the same node. So all these three are parallel to each other, and let's see how can we solve it. So in this case, this is one node, this is one node. So this and this are in parallel, and this is one node. So we can find out the equivalent inductance by taking the parallel combination of these three inductors and then redraw the circuit. So this node A will be defined here, this node B will be this one, and node C will be this one. So you place all the inductances between these nodes, you will end up with this expression in this graph. So here you can see these two are in series, so you simply add them. It will be 8 millihenry, and this 8 and this 6 is connected in parallel, so use the parallel formula, and then 6 will be in series. So this is how the formula would be. So 6 plus 2 will be the sum of these two. It will be parallel with this 6, and then you add this 6 with it. So you solve this, you will end up with this answer, which is 66/7 millihenry. So at the end, let's just conclude whatever we have discussed in this chapter. So as a summary, we said that the important relationship for capacitor and inductor is as follows. We know the capacitance law is Q is equal to CV. Current through capacitor is C dV by dt. And using the dual relationship, from this expression, we can find the voltage across inductor, which is V is equal to L di by dt. And these are the differential form of capacitance law and differential form of inductance law. And if you take the derivative of integral on both sides, you can come up with the integral form of the capacitance law, which is this, and integral form of inductance law, which is this. And what we also conclude is that the voltage across a capacitor and the current flowing through inductor cannot change instantaneously. We've already seen this information as well. And the leakage resistance is present in practical capacitors. हमने capacitors के केस में भी देखा और inductor के केस में भी देखा कि practical capacitors और inductors में leakage resistance exist करती है. So when capacitors are interconnected, their equivalent capacitance is determined as follows. That is, capacitors in series combine like resistors in parallel, and capacitors in parallel combines like resistors in series. Or we can say capacitors behave as conductances. And likewise, power can be determined using this relationship. Power is C power is equal to Vi, and I is C dV by dt. So you just replace it, you can find the value of power. Same you can do it for in case of inductors as well. And the energy stored by capacitors is half CV square, and energy stored by inductors is half Li square. We also conclude that the passive sign convention is used with capacitors and inductors. And in DC steady state, capacitors behave as open circuit and inductors behaves like short circuit. And when we talk about the interconnection connected inductors, we know that inductors in series they behave like resistors, and inductors in parallel they behave like resistors in parallel. So this is the summary that overall discusses everything we have discussed in chapter number 6. With this, our chapter number 6 is now concluded. In the next class, we will talk about chapter number 7, which is about the first order and second order circuits. Thank you very much.